Hey guys, John McCormick here, and today I guess I'm going to share a little bit just about myself. Might as well just go into it. I came from a very abusive and alcoholic family. My dad was actually a KKK member, and that's the family that I grew up in. He was a vicious alcoholic, and he got arrested when I was about 7. About the time that kind of one of the earliest memories of that was I remember sitting I just came off of the school bus. I was in kindergarten, and I was sitting on the couch, and two cops kicked our door in and dragged my dad off to jail, and I didn't see him for another about 7 or 8 years. So he really wasn't in my life. And my mom was a single mom raising 2 kids, 2 boys. She was always working, and then she was also already partying as well. So she didn't really spend time raising us. So it was basically we kind of raised ourselves. I got involved with still a lot of those guys that were in that circle that I grew up with. So a lot of the kids I grew up with, that's who they were. I got involved in the skinhead gang at a very young age, and we'd go to parties even at 8 or 9 years old. That's when I started smoking. I started drinking. Tried, vodka and stuff when I was about 9, and that's really when kind of things started taking off. I was involved in a lot of gang stuff. I was about doing that till probably about like preteens to teenagers when I started to sell drugs to pagans and biker gangs. With friends of mine. We'd go to parties all the time. There was a lot of anger that I had to deal with because of that. It was really hard to get close to anybody, right? So I didn't really know that I could, number one, trust somebody, and then love somebody. And I didn't think that was reciprocal as well. So kind of fast forwarding a little bit, I was in about college. I was about in college. Crazy story. So my dad got out of jail, and that probably was the first year that I was kind of seeing him, trying to see who he was, right? Just trying to find out, who my dad was. So we spent some time together, basically working together. We worked construction together. That's basically what I did to kind of, make money. Work with my dad. One day, one day that we were basically got done early. Went to a restaurant. There was a guy sitting there. We walk in, and this guy's like, "Hey man, what's up?" And my dad's like, "Oh hey Henry, what's going on?" Didn't know who it was. I went over and talked to the guy, and I was like, "Hey man, how do you know my dad?" And he was like, "Oh, I used to talk to your dad when he was in jail." And I was like, "Okay." And he was like, "Hey, I got there's a young adults group that might be pretty cool to check out." And I was like, "Cool." I was like, not sure what that is, but I guess we could check it out. So I went, and it was a Christian group. I had no idea. It was the first time I was ever around Christian people. I thought they were all lunatics. There was a bunch of people that were like speaking in tongues. I had no idea what the heck was that about. And this guy came up to me, and he was like, "Hey man, can I pray for you?" And I was like, "No, I'm good, bro. Like, it's all good." But he gave me his number, and then that was the last time I seen him for a couple months. And then it was in June. It was June 8th, actually, where a friend of mine, he called me up, and I was still involved with a lot of the friends that I was involved with, and he called me, and he wanted to take care of somebody. And this was a phone call that you do answer. So I was on my way, and we were going to kill this dude. And I was driving down the road, and somebody tried to get to a little altercation with me as I was driving down the road, and I was pretty irate. So like, I didn't really have like a switch. I'm sorry, I didn't really have like a fuse. I had like a switch, right? So if you looked at me funny, like, we were rolling around, we were fighting. Like, there was no, there was no. It was 100%, 0 to 100, like, pretty fast. So, this guy was tailgating me, and I gave him the bird and stuff. So he came around and was trying to escalate the situation more. And I remember I kicked open my door and I was trying to get out of my truck and I couldn't get out. I was so mad I couldn't figure out how to work the seatbelt. So I'm like hanging out the truck and I'm still holding in. And then I heard a voice, and it said, "What you're doing is wrong." And I was so clear, and I was like, what the heck was that? And it stopped me, and it completely shook me. So I got back in my trunk, and I called that guy that gave me his number. And I said, "Hey man," and I told him what happened. This is what happened. And I was like, "Look, I don't believe in God at all. I don't believe in him. But if he's real, like, well, what do I do? Like, what do I say? Like, do I go to a priest? Like, do I go get a rosary, or like, what do I do?" And he's like, "Well, what's in your heart?" I was like, "Bro, I need help. Like, I'm on my way to kill somebody right now, and with a friend of mine, and I don't know what's gonna happen. I could be arrested, or I can get, I can end up dead or in jail." And he's like, "Well, just stay home." So I called my friend up. I said, "Listen, man, I can't make it. I'm sorry." And I went home that night, and I was like, "God, I don't believe in you at all. If you're real, you need to show yourself, because I'm going to be dead, or I'm going to be in jail. I'm going to be just like my dad, and I don't know what to do. So if you're real, just show yourself." And there really wasn't like a parting of the seas moment. And the next day was like real. I was in the medicine. I was like medicine heady. It was like a cloud. I was walking in a cloud. And then I went back to that young adults group, that college group. It's not a young adults group. It's a college group. And I went back and I gave my life. It's when I met Jesus. Like, I met him, and I cried like a baby for like 3 hours. Like, I never cried before like that. And I remember being feeling this amount of weight that was just on my shoulders that just got thrown off of me. I felt like I could breathe again, or I could breathe for the first time. And like, I literally walked outside and I could see like things were so much clearer. Like, I could really see there was a difference. Like, it was almost like I could see the grass was literally greener, and the sky was like peaceful. And like, I can hear things that was like, it felt peaceful. And I gave my life to the Lord that day. And man, I was involved I immediately jumped into every single Bible study that I could do. I wanted to know more about like, what the heck was this about? And it was crazy, because I found out that the dude, my buddy, the one who called me, it was a sting. He sold this guy bad drugs, and he got arrested, and the other guy got arrested. And if I would have been there, I would have got arrested and had been in jail. And God saved me from that, so that he can have an encounter with me, so that I could meet him. And I met the creator of the universe in a moment, and it changed my life forever. And I was, I had the ability to find out, and through the walk, I was able to find and discover that not only did he want an encounter with me, but he wanted a relationship with me. And he showed me that he wasn't just a one and done being, that he was a loving father that showed a loveless child, a person who was angry at the world, who hated people with every ounce of fiber that was in his being, showed him how to love, showed him what true love actually is, and showed him how I can go from being the person that just wanting to kill somebody or hate him to the point of pleasure, to the point of now I see this person as a brother, as somebody that I can love and show love to. And just, I guess, an encouragement, like, that changes the generation in my family. It stopped the curse of that. It completely killed it. And now my daughters will never taste any of that because of the loving encounter that I have with Jesus Christ. And if you could get anything out of this, it is that not only is he a God of second chances, he's a God of multiple chances, and he's a father to the fatherless, right? Like, if you have that orphan heart, like, he will mend it and show you just exactly how big of a God he really is and what he can do in your life. And that if you are a product of an alcoholic father, or if you are going through that right now and you think there's no ramifications with your actions, there are ramifications with your actions, that your children could experience the same thing that you did. But if you were to allow God to work in your life, it will completely change not just you, but your children's children. And that's the thing where God is. He's a generational being that wants to impact your generations from here till whenever he comes back. So, yeah, I just wanted to kind of share a little bit about that. So, love you guys. Thank you.